Hi, my name is David Misener. I grew up in a house that was not Christian. We went to church once in a while. I can remember on Sunday mornings laying in bed praying that my parents wouldn't want to go to church that morning. And most mornings, unfortunately, that prayer was answered. I don't know who I was praying to exactly. As I grew up and mom and dad had a lot of struggles, I went to various different sources trying to just feel alive and feel loved. Of course, all of those things came up empty. And as I grew older, I started to work with patients who were dying with a hospice program. I wanted to learn, what is the secret to life? Is there life after death? Is there a God? Is there a God that really cares about me? And so I started spending time working with folks who were dying, people right up face to face with their own mortality, right up to death. And so many of those folks were just so clueless and so empty and so searching. Their whole lives they've lived the American dream only to find out that it was a nightmare. And they'd come to the end of their lives and they'd be scared and terrified and feel so alone. And their loved ones didn't know what to do, and they just tried to do life as best they could, and so many of them were empty. But there were some people who, when I went to go visit them and sat at their bedside and listened to them and watched them interact with their family and watched them deal with this life-limiting illness that they were experiencing, knowing that they were going to be passing from this life into the next, I felt the very presence of God in them, and I was blessed just being by their bedside. So I would go home and share this with my new wife at the time, and we try to process all this, and we'd go to church then. We made an agreement that when we got married, we would find a church and go to it. And we found a church, and every Sunday I would come from a week of working with people who were dying and their families and all the issues that would come to the surface as a result. And God would meet me there, and He would answer my questions, and He would fill me. And I can remember just leaving church just filled, buoyant with the presence of God. Well, as we progressed in this journey, there was a night where the Lord came to me in a dream, and He showed me who He was and what His plan for me was, part of His plan for me. As I awoke from this dream, I was just crying, filled with God's presence and feeling His love. And I was on my hands and knees, and I was just weeping and crying and just electrified with His presence at the same time. My wife was in bed next to me, and she said she felt physically restrained. She wanted to reach out and comfort me, but she was physically restrained by an angel. And the Lord was just melting me and putting His fire inside of me. And from that point on, we had a purpose in our lives as a couple. God was calling us into a deeper intimacy with Him, showing His great love for us. And all that emptiness that I had growing up just melted away. It was filled with His presence, and He's walked with us ever since. Of course, there's been struggles. Of course, there's still been questions. But the more I seek the answer to those questions from the one who created me, the one who spoke me into being, the one who knit me together in my mother's womb, the more I am filled with my Father in heaven's love and glory. God bless you.
Amen. Amen.